Broadcasts of HIKI No are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by HIKI No founding underwriter Bank of Hawaii, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI No. And HMSA, helping Hawaii's youth and their families stay healthy today, tomorrow, and for generations to come. HMSA, trusted for generations.
Next on HIKI No, stories from across the island chain.
On Hawaii Island, students from Kealakehe High School share a story of a unique building project that took place across the street from their campus.
On Maui, students at Seabury Hall High School introduce us to a rancher who has turned his attention to alternative energy. While at Kamehameha Maui Middle School, students develop their own traditional Hawaiian instruments from seed to plant.
On Kauai, students at Waimea Canyon Middle School teach us the twists and turns of an iconic clothing accessory.
On Oahu, students at Mililani Middle show us how their school is going green. At Waipahu High School, a student strives to master a sport not usually associated with Hawaii. And from Punahou School, a woman recounts her journey as a teacher and Hokulea crew member.
Also, on Oahu, this episode of HIKI No comes to you from Waianae High School, home of the Sea Riders.
That's next on the nation's first statewide student news network, HIKI No.
Can do! We begin right here at Ka'ala Farms, which the last time it was seen on HIKI No was recovering from a brush fire. Though the effects were devastating, burning down their thatched hale and destroying the irrigation system that fed into their lo'i, they have since replaced the piping for the irrigation system and plan to rebuild the hale with the help of the Waianae community. For our first story, we travel a few miles east to central Oahu, where students from Mililani Middle School take us to Greenville.
Greenville is this idea of having a place where we can practice sustainable types of activities. For example, raising fish, doing aquaponics, hydroponics, growing plants in a vegetable garden, also taking a look at growing native plants and then outplanting them in our watersheds, different places on the island.
Greenville is split into different groups, such as aquaponics, hydroponics, composting, and gardening, in which students get to work on certain types of projects.
We've done 2 harvests of bok choy. It's stationary systems. For aquaponics, basically we've gotten tanks to raise fish. We're also looking at experimenting with just doing aquaponics with crayfish. But the fishes that we have so far are tilapia, farm raised. We have also a suggestion from one of the students was to see if we can use some wild fishes from Lake Wilson, some hybrid tilapia, and some peacock bass and two canaries, those wild fishes. For vegetable garden, we focus on different plants. Now composting, we have 2 different types. We have vermicomposting, and that's the composting with the worms. The animal group, they basically watch over the animals in my class. Their focus mostly is the fishes that we use for the aquaponics. Some turtles, okay, a couple of Oscars and things like that they get to take care of. It's just basically the idea of taking care of our land and the land taking care of us so that we can have it in the future.
To this day, Greenville has continued to grow. Many plants grown in Greenville have started to flourish. On the Mililani Middle School campus grounds, a greenhouse is to be set up, and the vegetable garden has been plotted with many various types of plants. Students in the 7th grade Yellow Track are still enjoying the work done in the garden, as it's a great way to get them outside while still learning things about the environment. From Mililani Middle School, this is Lorelei Mimura reporting for HIKI No.
If you'd like to comment on this video or anything you've seen on HIKI No, join the discussion at facebook.com/HIKINOCanDo or send us a tweet at twitter.com/HIKINOCanDo.
Here we are back at Waianae High School. I'm standing in our new state-of-the-art medical facility. This facility is used by students in the Health and Human Services Academy. and much of the equipment in this facility was provided by Tripler as well as through other donations. The construction of this facility was completed in May of 2012. We take you now to the Manoa district of Oahu and Punahou School for a first-hand recount of an historic ocean voyage.
Starting from a young age, Marion Lyman-Mersereau aspired to be a teacher.
I decided to become a teacher. There was some time around my junior, senior year, because the PE teacher here at Punahou, Joan Pratt, she had me help teach the gymnastics unit. And I was spotting girls and teaching them a routine, and I found that I really enjoyed this business of teaching.
After she went to college for education, Mrs. Lyman-Mersereau found another passion while helping to build the voyaging canoe, Hokulea.
I remember asking one of the crew members, Sam Kauai, I said, you know, it's really funny how this canoe has affected me. I can't think of anything that I've ever felt so strongly about. And he asked me what my Hawaiian background was, and I said, well, my family's the Kuali'i clan. And he said, the Kuali'i clan voyaged back and forth all the time. He said, of course, that would be your roots calling you.
Mrs. Lyman-Mersereau was on the ill-fated 1978 voyage that capsized off Molokai, but helped to successfully sail to Tahiti in 1980.
I couldn't believe that, you know, this 7-year dream that I had had since 1974, you know, had come to fruition.
After fulfilling her dream of sailing to Tahiti, she returned to Punahou to teach.
So I put in an application hoping that I would not get 7th and 8th grade. I applied for the secondary for the academy. Well, Dwayne Yee, the principal at the time, called me in and asked if I would take the 7th and 8th grade job. And of course I did. My mother, who had been here before me, had said, you know, Marion, if you enjoy 7th and 8th graders, you need to stay with them because there's so few teachers who do. So I stayed on with 7th and 8th grade, which is really my passion. I think that it's really important for students to enjoy learning. And if they enjoy learning, they're going to go on to become lifelong learners. I've always been lucky enough to have a job in the area of teaching and coaching, and I guess it's what you would call a vocation as well as an avocation, because it's what I love to do, and I feel called to it.
This is Allison Radigan reporting for HIKI Now.
Welcome back. I'm now standing at Waianae High School. Here at Waianae High School, we have 4 academies. One of them is natural resources. The students in this academy take care of the ogo, a variety of seaweed known as gracilaria. We travel now to the Oahu plantation town of Waipahu for a story about a water sport that is very foreign to Hawaii, because the water in this sport is frozen.
Over 4 million tourists come to Oahu, Hawaii every year for its sun, surf, and shave ice. However, for local Kylie Chinen, instead of soaking up some sun on the beach, she figure skates on ice.
Being an ice skater in Hawaii, it feels kind of cool because not a lot of people here do it.
With Ice Palace Hawaii, located in Aiea, being the only ice rink in the state.
Over here, you're very limited to coaches and ice times. Like kids on the mainland, they get different coaching experiences, different atmospheres. And
17-year-old Chinen has been skating for over 12 years and also competes in local competitions.
I've been competing for the past 5 years, and I at least have like 8 first place medals in Skate Aloha and 12 first place medals for Hawaiian Open.
For Kylie, skating was more than a sport.
Skating helped me come out of my shell because it shows you how to present yourself in front of an audience.
Like other 17-year-olds, Kylie attends high school at Waipahu High as a senior. However, her lifestyle has caused Kylie to skate on thin ice.
In high school, things just got piled on, so I had to juggle that with skating.
Although Kylie has faced many challenges, she still continues to skate because she feels
that's something I'm passionate about. I would feel overwhelmed. So skating was my way, my sweet escape. And also because when I graduate high school, I want to become a coach.
However, in Chinen's sophomore year of high school, the ice under her skates began to crack.
Sophomore year, my dad got unemployed for a while because construction was slow. And my mom had a furloughed paycheck, so we couldn't afford to be sending me skating like 5 times a week. I cut back to like by a lot, like only once a week. That really took a toll on me because like I felt like it was a burden for me to skate because so much of my mom's paycheck is being spent on me skating, and I felt kind of responsible. Why like my brother was barely affording the classes in college he had now.
With their financial issues having been solved, Kylie uses this as a life lesson.
When times get rough, you can't give up. You gotta just push through, like find a way. There's always like some way you can overcome this obstacle.
Kylie has recently been accepted to Hawaii Pacific University and plans to enroll next fall semester. Even though the pressures of ice skating at school could have knocked her down, she manages to persevere. This is Fa'avala Fasa reporting from Waipahu High School for HIKI Now.
We now take you to the Waianae Coast Comprehensive Health Center, Waianae's only health center, which has been open since the town was made up of only sugar plantations. Aside from that, the comprehensive employs over 500 community members and gives medical students the opportunity to earn their degrees while working in their field of study. Our next story takes us to Maui, where students at Seabury Hall High School introduce us to a rancher who is raising a new commodity, renewable energy.
Wind, an essential force that is a major factor within nature and its existence. An unutilized enterprise has awaited, but now it is here. And rancher Sumner Erdman was interviewed about the future of wind farming on Maui. One wind farm on Maui started out within a ranch in Ulapalakua, and Sumner Erdman's dream to expand upon his land.
You're looking for diversity of economic resources and ways to diversify your revenue stream. So what we look for is diversity to find other ways to get revenue without having to increase expenses. We've gone down the communications angle, we've looked at other agricultural opportunities, and we continue to look at agricultural opportunities. But alternative energy opportunities are something we can do. For the same reason as the radio antennas. Everybody wants alternative energy, or not everybody, but most people want alternative energy, but they don't want the windmill in their backyard.
But in a world full of oil and other means of energy, why is this wind energy movement so important to the integrity of Maui?
Alternative energy is important for Hawaii for future generations. One of the advantages to wind farms is in places where the wind blows, it blows 24 hours a day. There are 100-fold reasons for it environmentally. Every island has a wind resource someplace on it. So it allows you to produce energy 24 hours a day.
And in the midst of a recession, wind energy could play a vital role in stimulating our economy.
So there's an economic framework that makes alternative energy in general and wind farms very important to us long term. The fear of running out of electricity if we continue to be on fossil fuels in future generations is a reality. We have to find other ways to create electricity and energy. But you'll definitely see wind turbines become more and more popular places like Hawaii where electricity is very, very expensive. And it's always going to be expensive. But the more I've gotten into the wind farm, watching it and learning about it, the more I realize it has incredible opportunities for people in Hawaii.
Because of Sumner and other alternative energy entrepreneurs, expansion of the wind energy movement is a reality. This is Ryan Newfer from Seabury Hall, reporting for HIKI Now.
If you'd like to comment on this video or anything you've seen on HIKI Now, join the discussion at facebook.com/HIKI-NO-CAN-DO or send us a tweet at twitter.com/HIKI-NO-CAN-DO.
Here we are at the Waianae Coast Comprehensive Health Center, once again. But this time we're at the cafeteria, where the chefs prepare healthy meals from locally grown ingredients. Workers, patients, and community members come to the caf to get healthy and delicious meals. We take you now to the island of Kauai, where students at Waimea Canyon Middle School teach us something that most men will eventually need to learn.
In Hawaii, people often dress casually, but there are times when more appropriate attire is required, and some people don't know how to tie a tie. Place the tie around your neck.
1. Cross the white end over the skinny end.
Step 2. Wrap the wide end over the skinny end. Step 3. Bring the wide end under the knot to the center region near the neck. Now use your hands to pull the narrow end and push the knot up. Now you can tie a tie.
Welcome back. We now take you to Maili Elementary, where JPOs, or Junior Police Officers, take time out of their schedule to help make sure their classmates are safe as they walk home from school. The JPO volunteers stand out on the street corners of a four-way intersection and hold up stop signs to warn the oncoming traffic of pedestrians.
After school, students don't just go home. Instead, some stay and march to the same beat in the Waianae Intermediate School Color Guard. The Color Guard meets Tuesdays and Fridays after school from the end of school until 6 p.m. There were over 20 participants in this year's Color Guard. Our next story takes us to the Valley Isle, where students at Kamehameha School's Maui introduce us to a very holistic approach to a traditional Hawaiian instrument.
Here at Kamehameha School's Maui, the students of the Iimi Mau class are not only learning about planting and growing ipu, but also about their culture, through song and dance as well.
This Hawaiian instrument is called an ipu, and the way we're utilizing it is through a hula noho.
Okay, so basically every 4 of those corners are going to be seedling. The project is a project that deals with ipu. We've noticed that in order for us to garner equipment, we have to go ahead and sometimes purchase that equipment from outside resources. I think because we have all of this aina it's our responsibility to malama, to care for, and to make sure that we can grow and to sustain ourselves on that.
So this is a bamboo trellis, and we're building it to grow our ipus on top of it, and so we can clean our ipus and play with it in the competition next year.
I think the reason why we make our own is because it's more special when you do it yourself, because then you have that meaning and feeling inside yourself, and you have that all that hard work that paid off.
I think anytime that you can collaboratively work with your hands, what I notice as Kanaka, as people of this aina, we come from land, we come from the honua. So, we talk a story about having your hands down into the ground, into the aina. That gives us the ability to live, that gives us the ability to learn. If our hands are just up and empty and there's no work going at it, then we have a hard time learning.
It's important to know about your Hawaiian culture or your own cultures because it's a part of you and it's about your ancestors. I preserve it in my own way by sharing my hula with others, and sometimes it inspires them to preserve their own cultures.
Through hard work and perseverance, these Hawaiian chant and dance students understand the importance of ma'alama, to care for, kuleana, responsibility, and their heritage. This is Keela sniffing for Kamehameha Maui Middle for HIKI No.
We're back here at the Waianae High School football field. For students here, their graduation day is unique. Waianae High School is the only school located on the beach, which gives its graduates a sunset ending to the high school career. For our final story, we touched down on the Kona side of Hawaii Island, where students at Kealakehe High School tell us about a very dynamic way to build a home.
It usually takes months to build a home, but last September, Habitat for Humanity Blitz Builder volunteers and the Kona community came together to do something that many consider amazing.
This is our Laopua 2012 Blitz build, and we are going to build 5 homes in 10 days, from slab all the way up to completion.
Habitat for Humanity is a global non-profit organization whose vision is a world where everyone has a decent place to live. They've built over 500,000 homes worldwide, including almost 300 in Hawaii.
My hope is that the community realizes that this is a grassroots organization, and that together as a community we can improve our neighborhoods and our families if we all come together and help each other out.
So we're really grateful for the participation from the students from Kealakehe High School. On our first day of the build, as our Blitz builders from the minute we were arriving to the job site, they were in awe of all the students that stood along the sidewalks, holding welcoming signs to them, welcoming to Kona, and just being thankful that they're here to help these families have their own homes.
I was mostly painting, hospitality, making sure everyone didn't, collapse from dehydration and stuff like that. I actually got to meet the person whose house was being built, so that was very nice, uplifting.
Families were selected from the Hawaiian Homes waitlist and had to meet certain requirements, including contributing 500 work hours towards the project.
When you do a partnership with Habitat, you have to volunteer X amount of sweat hours, and that means you need to participate in the building of your home. I don't know how to hammer big beams, but you know what? They took me by the hand, said, hey, I'll show you how to do it.
Helping others is pretty much probably one of the biggest goals you can have.
It's just been so enjoyable for myself and the entire staff at Habitat just to be part of this transformational development, really. We're changing families' lives, so it's really pretty cool.
This house is not my house. My son-in-law and my daughter also know it's not their house. It's for our grandchildren, and we're just caretakers of this house for them. This is really important that they feel roots and belong, at a young age, not my age, but at a young age. So it's very dear and close to my heart.
The no-interest mortgage that these families pay go towards building a decent place to live for even more families in the future. This is Luke Vanderspool from Kealakehe High for HIKI No.
Well, that brings an end to this episode of HIKI No.
Remember, all of these stories were written, shot, and edited by students like us.
We hope you enjoyed watching them just as much as we've enjoyed sharing them with you.
Make sure to tune in to next week's episode for more proof that Hawaii students HIKI No can do.
Broadcasts of HIKI No are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by HIKI No Founding Underwriter Bank of Hawaii, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI No. And HMSA, helping Hawaii's youth and their families stay healthy today, tomorrow, and for generations to come. HMSA, trusted for generations.